I'm in the city shot. You already know what it is. Yeah. Everyone turn up. Yeah. Leo's leaving now. Made you big. I got time and a whole lot of women, yeah. We all speaking now, cause I'm in your city. Let's go. In your city, I got time and a whole lot of women, yeah. We all speaking now. What's up, y'all? Mayo City, yeah. Mayo Town, where you at, baby? About to make my round. I got little baby excited. She know it's going down. We only fucking inside it. Sipping and rimming around. One shine, two shine, I'm gonna lay you down. John Justin, there we go. Yeah. What's up, gang? You should be fine. I got time tonight and a whole lot of women. Yeah, we all see tonight. Cause I'm in your city. Yeah, in your city, I got time. I think I got a little time, you heard? And a whole lot of rim. We all see tonight. Cause I'm in your city. Teezy, what up? Gang in the building, what up, y'all? Hey, man, look, it's time to do what we do best, man. It's Friday, yo. I'm a little hoarse, you know what I mean? But it's go time, all right? As usual, it's showtime. Y'all know I ain't missing no Friday unless it's really, really serious, all right? So, look, let me get this color right. Boom, I like that. I like that. All right, look, check it out, man. We back for more Baby Talk TV. I'm your host, AC Golden, baby. This is episode 15, and tonight's episode is important because it's important to me, man. As y'all know, I go through my weeks like everybody else, and I get these lessons where God will be teaching me something in the midst of getting ready to teach somebody else something, right? So, I learned a lot this week, all right? And tonight's episode is entitled, Examining Your Own Lens. I want y'all to pay attention. Make sure y'all share this live. It's very, very important. It's a great topic. We're getting ready to get into some vital information. And we need it, man. We need it. We got to share this information, man. Look, it's a lot of shit I could talk about, but I ain't going to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to stick to the topic, examining your very own lens. As I said, what up, bro? I went through a lot of things this week only to bring me these lessons about. You know what I mean? In spite of all the things that we go through, you know, great things are still happening. You know, I got a new car. I don't brag. I didn't post. You know what I'm saying? I don't do shit like that because people pray against you rather than pray for you. You know what I'm saying? And I figured I've been working hard enough. I would reward myself with something, right? And obviously that's a problem to some people, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? The goal in life is not only to live, but to survive, but to thrive. You know, we want more out of life. We seek more. So in order to get that, we got to work a little bit harder. So tonight, let's examine our lens, all right? That's what we're talking about. So check it out. What we see in this life, our perception and our view of things is what drives the world, right? The world that we live in. It's what pushes us or keeps us from. It's what builds on us or breaks us or decomposes us down, all right? And what I mean by this is the problem is we're in a world where everybody believes that their lens is correctly set, right? So everybody that's seeing the shit the way that they're seeing it is believing that their lens is the right lens, right? So everything that they see it stands corrected because it comes out of your mind and your head, right? So it's your lens, so you see it correctly. Now let me teach. Tonight we're going to talk about, I don't even like using the word teach because sometimes I feel like, some people take it as a belittling term, and that's not what I'm here to do. You know, I'm your peer. We here as family, as one. What's up, sis? To build and get to, the next level. Now, y'all know I need my sweat rag. So before we get into this, because I like to wear hoodies and shit, and although I got the AC blowing on me, I still sweat. So we're going to get into a song real quick. And as I'm playing this song, I'm going to play Forever Thug, all right? As I'm playing this song, appreciate y'all. You know it. You know what I'm saying? Turn on, make sure y'all share this live, man. We about to touch into some deep shit tonight. It's going down. I appreciate those that are tapped in. And listen, I'm about to go grab my sweat rag. While I'm doing that, what up, bro? While I'm grabbing my sweat rag, I'm going to go ahead and play Forever Thug. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Share this live. We about to get into some deep shit, all right? Examining your lens. Let's go. I do own rights to this music. I'm coming in with I'm probably ever thug, the streets know what it was. Like whipping in the kitchen, all my bitches serving drugs. They got steppers in the clan, all my niggas on the map. Got money in the mattress, I got Dracos in the car. I'm probably ever thug, the streets know what it was. Like whipping in the kitchen, all my bitches serving drugs. They got steppers in the clan. Hey, what up, gang? Trap, I got Dracos in the got it straight out the mud. I was serving them drugs. So much buzz in the streets. I'm a certified thug. And I'm nubbed by my geeks cause I be showing them love. And I never waste my time with nothing less than a hun. I need them blue things, baby. I've been racking them up. We on tour with the chickens in the back of the bus. Unless you asking for us. Get popped and leave your ass in the back of the dust. I say run up, get done up. Road runners, we hunters. Young thuggers and gunners. $500,000 for the money. 4 Gianna on my wheelos. All my bitches serve kilos. She gon' pop that pussy, serve you. Yeah, for them zero. I'm gon' forever thug. The streets know what it was. They whipping in the kitchen. All my bitches serving drugs. I got steppers in the trap. My niggas on the map. Got money in the mattress. I got Dracos in the. Hey, what up, Hawk the Mac?
Rolling across the coppers, trying not to
we been keep it straight.
Bad chicks with me, curly back. The other keep it straight. I told them straight. Put up the 3 tonight, we sliding
in the straight.
I'm dirty, welcome to the show. We show
hey.
The back door. Back up, Kobe side, I slide the
hey.
He go from the country to a money on.
Yeah.
All my nigga in the birthday guy, they didn't take his space. Get real back, send them out of space.
Out of space.
Getting tightened up, the bitch get out.
She out of space. Bitch out of place. You
ain't know who you fucking with. I be with the young thug, stain. That's the list.
I'm gone forever thug. The streets know what it was. They whipping in the kitchen. All my bitches serving drugs. I got steppers in the trap. My niggas on the map. Got money in the mattress. I got Dracos in the. Yeah. Forever thug. Hey, look. We back. Y'all know that was featuring Charlie the motherfucking Hawk the Mac. You did. Hey, look. Forever thug. No lie. You know what I'm saying? Hey, look. I'm a real motherfucker. I embrace everything and every portion of myself. Everything that I've been, everything I learned to be, the lessons, the blessings, I take it all and I integrate it into this big old ball of what's considered me. AC Golden Baby, all right? And I love it. You know what I'm saying? Me and God got a great bond. Who the fuck are you to judge? Let's keep on thug. Forever thug. You heard? Let go. Hey, look. Let's do it. Hey, look. Tonight's topic is entitled Examining Our Very Own Lens. Okay? Let's talk about it. The very thing that pushes us, keeps us from, as well as builds us, breaks us down, or decomposes us, right? The problem is we're in this world where everybody believes that their lens is correctly set. This is the best lens for the world to see, the one that I look out of, right? All right, so if by some chance the lens be distorted, then everything else in our lives is thrown off, all right? everything else will also be distorted. And the view and the perception will be incorrect. All right? So look, sometimes in order to readjust our own lens, we got to turn it around. We got to turn it around in order to perceive what the other person point of view is. All right? So this is how we can begin to correct our lens, by perceiving another's. Let me talk about it. So by experiencing what others experience through their lens, many of us can't feel for those who aren't like us. Like we about to talk about some shit tonight. Y'all don't even hear me. For real, I'm about to touch on something. Many of us cannot feel for people that are not like-minded. They're not like us. You know, we don't know what they go through. We ain't never lived the way that they live. We don't know what they're going through, right? So it's hard for us to perceive what they see through their lens. Many of us who aren't like us, you know what I'm saying, we don't know how what it's like to be them or to walk in their shoes. And we are when we are with, we don't imagine being without. So when we got everything, we can't imagine seeing ourselves without. Or even if we can, very seldom do we take the time to envision ourselves without. And that's where the problem comes in. That's why we are so ungrateful and we can't appreciate the things we have, and we just run through them and squander them because we have yet to understand the value of what we have. See, you looking at the man that got the Bentley because you driving a Honda. But the man with the bike looking at you driving that Honda like, damn, I wish I could have that Honda. And it's like, you know, it's always somebody that wish they could be in your position. All right? So we about to talk about some real shit. Look. Therefore, it doesn't initiate us to change humanity because we don't envision these things. It doesn't give us the initiative or the motivation to want to change humanity or to give a damn about who's on the other side of the world that does not have what we have. All right? So we don't seem to care about those. You know what I'm saying? About the way things really are in the world. All right? So God put something inside of me that allowed me to care about people that I never even met in my life. That's how this foundation got started, the Baby Heart Foundation. And I've been so busy that I'm still founding, I'm still doing what I do, but I've gotten so busy that I forgot to push, right? I forgot to push for these people like I'm pushing for me, right? So what happened is y'all know every week I give y'all a story. That's my new thing. It's a story time, right? In the lesson, I'm gonna get y'all the lesson through the blessing through the lesson that I took, the route, what God taught me. I'm gonna teach y'all what came out of this, right? So this is how this lesson came about. God put something inside of me that allowed me to care about those I've never encountered in my life. I've never encountered them. I don't know these people. But for some reason, I still care, right? So I have to. Why? Because they're still human. They're still people just like us, right? Human beings. And above all, they're God's children. All right, so look. We can't look over them and expect God to not look over us. We can't look over our brethren and our sisters and not say, God, don't you forget about me. But it's people in the world that we got the ability to help every day, and we choose not to. All right? Listen. Don't focus so much on building your credentials as much as building your character. Let me say that again. Don't focus so much on building your credentials that you forget about building on your character, who you truly are, what truly matters in God's eyes. You could work for this major corporation, go in there, show your ass, show them how great of an employee and slave you can be. But you forget about the things that truly count. You're trying to work towards an 820 credit score. you know. But you're forgetting about the real credentials, the character, right? So don't focus so much on building that. Focus on the character, right? So my story for the week, let's get into it, people. It's a sad story, in fact. But let me tell you about my story, because I got to testify, right? So as you all know, I've been doing my work with the foundation. And we haven't received as many donations as I'd hope or as I'd like. But guess what? God is still working on us, with us, and through us. You did. So very grateful for that. You understand what I'm saying? So as you all know, we've been tackling several foundations, right, at once. And last week, I did a thing. Don't call me. Can you all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Somebody give me a thumb up real quick and just let me know that didn't throw my, I can't stand when people do that. We good? Okay, cool. Bet. All right, so look. Last week I did a thing. And this thing that I did, right? I reached out, right? I decided I wanted to talk to some of the kids. I'm going in and out. How about right now? Can anybody else hear me? Let me know how I sound for y'all. So I know if I need to adjust anything. Is everything good? Cool. All right, we cool. I bet. So listen. All right, bet. Say less. All right, look. Let's get into this story because this is deep. So last week I decided I wanted to do a thing. All right, perfect. Thank y'all. And I reached out I wanted to talk to some of the kiddos at the foundation, right? I said, damn, I want to step down off this seat of just doing business. And I actually want to just talk to them and just, how y'all doing? I got 2 brand ambassadors, DNA and Olags, who are there to stand in between what is business and humanity, right? But sometimes I want to break that barrier and I just want to be a human. I just want to show people my heart. Some people, I just want to show, hey, look, I genuinely just care. I'm really reaching out because I just want to know how you're doing. You know, how's everything going, right? So look, it was a tough lesson. Remember I talked about harsh realities, y'all. It was a tough lesson for me. I wanted to check on them. As I said, I got 2 brand ambassadors that do this for me. They'll go over and say, hey, is everything good? What do y'all need? Check. And we'll take care of that. We'll get to the needs, right? All right. So they're my hands-on guys. I learned a very valuable lesson. Why individuals who run businesses put people in position to deal with the people on a more personal level. And it was an unfortunate and a harsh reality that I had to face, right? And so this is Olag's job for the most part, right? However, last week, Olag was sick. He was sick himself. He had something going on. He wasn't feeling well, so he wasn't able to go check on the orphanage. And I told him, hey, man, send me the number. I want to call him myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, fuck this position. Like, I'm about to check on these kids. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? So I did that, right? But upon showing my heart, and I could put this down because I could just freely tell y'all what happened, right? Upon showing them my heart, they replied with a list of all these demands, basically. They came off as demands, but they were really their needs. You know what I'm saying? Human needs. And what happened was, I forgot to turn the lens around so I could see, right? Let me get back to my book because I wrote it a certain way that it just needs to be said, right? So anyway, Olags was sick. He couldn't physically go there prior when I needed him to. So reaching out for me felt good. So I was met with a list of demands, or I won't say demands, needs of these people, of course, and I wasn't prepared for all this, right? I set the foundation up to go in to feed hungry children. Now, of course, we know these are humans, so they got more than just food needs. You know what I'm saying? People need things like, you know what I mean? They need more than that. But again, I had to remind them, a lot of times people think I'm rich. I'm not rich. I'm rich in blood. I'm rich in God. I'm rich in love. I'm rich in sincerity. You know what I mean? Things like that. I'm rich in a lot of things, but I'm not monetarily rich just yet. And so what happened is they think I'm rich. And so I had to explain to them, no, ma'am, the donations that I were getting, I sent them all to you. And the things that I have, I take the very little that I have and I share it with you. All right. And that to me was like a big thing on my heart. I felt like I was doing something good. So to be met with all these demands that I couldn't necessarily meet at the time frame they needed made me feel helpless, because it'll make a person feel that's doing a lot for you feel like they haven't done enough. And in my situation, you can't put too much pressure on me. Like, I'm good, under pressure in certain circumstances, but in other situations, I'll run for pressure if I haven't, let's say I run from pressure when I have an option out. Like, if I'm stuck in something, I know I got to do it, I always come out like a diamond. But when I have pressure on me and I know I got an out and I got an option of how I want to do shit, don't put pressure on me, because, it's like my human nature. So let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about how I stepped in my way and I dropped the ball. Let me explain some things, right? So, it felt good to reach out, boom, boom, boom. List of these demands that came to me. And of course, I wasn't prepared for all these things. So some of these things that they asked for, I had to question one's sincerity. I'm like, damn, I'm getting the messages about broken TVs. Please, ma'am, can you please send us XYZ? We trying to get the TV fixed. The kids broke the TV. They crying. I'm like, hold up. I didn't sign up for televisions. But then it wasn't until my wife, my lady reminded me today of why, damn, baby, when the kids broke their TV, you went and got them a TV like in 2 minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm like, damn, maybe I wasn't thinking that television was a necessity, but think about it. They don't have much, so maybe I'm in the middle of a show. You cannot come in right now. I told you that prior to this show. Get out of my room, baby. I'll talk to you in a minute. Out, because you're going to make mommy upset. So maybe I was being a little unreasonable, you know what I'm saying? And I hadn't turned that lens right enough to understand that, man, Asia, you're being a little selfish maybe, because I didn't see it like that. I was thinking I was just being hit with these demands, and they asking for too much, like, at this point. Let me do this. I'm running a business. I need to structure and make sure that I got a receipt that shows everything that I put money into, because I'm trying to get a larger bank so that I can help more people in the world. And in order for me to do that, I need to have a log that shows what I've done. And so I can't just throw money in the air. But my heart changed after today, Lord. Let me explain some things, and I'm going to get right back to that point, right? So I hope y'all are following me, because this is an important story and an important message. And again, I wasn't prepared. But one of the things that was needed on that list was like a 3-month supply of diabetic medication for the owner of the orphanage, okay? And this lady prayed for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, beautiful lady, you know what I'm saying? I got a video of her promoting my orphanage, praying for me and my children, So, like, I felt her heart, you know what I mean? And because I didn't respond immediately when the need needed to be met, and I'm not putting it on myself, because come to find out the lady had been sick, woo. She died today. She died this morning, and I cried and I cried and I cried, because you know what? It weighed so heavy on my heart, because I was like, God, $97, 40,000 Nigerian dollars, converted over to English money, $97 was what her life was worth. And so, $97. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, man, you dropped the ball, because maybe I couldn't have saved her life, but that would have helped. And sometimes you got to remember that everything don't need to be documented, and this was a harsh lesson for me this week, right? Because I learned that I didn't have to, sometimes, like, I spent that money at a strip club last night. You understand what I'm saying? This is why it hurts me so bad, because I just feel like, damn, you give your homie $100 if he asks. I sent the nigga $200 a couple weeks. Like, it don't matter. Like, I'll help anybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, you dropped the ball on that, because business don't always come first, Asia. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, you did this out of your heart, humanity, you know, like, because you genuinely care. Don't forget what it was about. And so what would it have been for me to just send her $100? Whether she did what she said she was going to do with it or not. I done it. You know what I'm saying? Boom. I can rest assured, boom, and feel better about it because I did what I... So at that point, that's between you and God. Because I gave with an open heart. And I knew what it was for. So it hurt me. You know what I mean? And I've been crying all day and I don't even know this woman. I've never met her in my life. But that's what the value of a life means to me. I don't know about you. But nobody deserves to die because they ain't got no medicine, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy, man. So you sit here and you think, look at the things that I have. Look at all that I have. All that I've been blessed with. You know, at least we have the option of health care. We may have to pay a little for it. But at least you got it. You know, and what's up, Cole? It just broke my heart that I felt like I dropped the ball. But maybe I was being too hard on myself. You know, I sent a message and I my condolences, and I even sent money after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad I felt. Like, I even sent a couple $100 after that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just, it's too late. It's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I should have acted sooner. But that's my lesson. You know what I'm saying? But listen, so in all of that, right, the lady needed diabetic medicine. I didn't understand the severity of her needs. Me also being human, I started thinking that maybe I was being taken advantage of. Long story short, right? And this morning when she died, passed away, I cried so hard because I felt like I dropped the ball. And me being human, being met with so many needs that weren't my own, right? It was overwhelming. And so it made me, I realized what happened and how I dropped that ball in that situation. When I was met with all these needs that they need, it was just thrown at me at once, right? And I didn't know how to take it. So I reprioritized in my mind their level of need. And I didn't realize that today. So last week when I was like, look, I got you. I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? A week passed. Few days, week passed. I didn't understand the severity. Olags was sick, couldn't get over there. Maybe it was God. Maybe it was his time. I don't know. But at the same time, what I know it was, but what I'm saying that, you know what I mean. You know how I'm trying to say that. Like, you ain't even got to answer that. But what I'm getting at is that there was, I dropped the ball. Fuck it. I dropped the ball. That's just how I feel. And ain't nobody can make me feel differently about, you know what I'm saying, that situation. But what I do know is that in my mind, when I was met with all that and it overwhelmed me, it made me want to run. You hear me? And so, what happened was I reprioritized their level of need. You know, and I didn't realize that to today, that it made me reprioritize their level of need, which was wrong. Because what I intended to do rather than what I intended to do was made now secondary rather than what was supposed to be primary. And I overlooked the fact that these are needs too. And even though I went in just for those kids, the kids depend on them people to take care of them. So, you know, it's like if you're going to be you got to be all the way in, you know what I mean? But I'm doing everything I can to help the world, you know, and I need help. Like, I need y'all help. I'm not begging nobody to believe in what I believe in. But if you can't see what's going on around the world and feel for humanity, then something's wrong. How can you expect people to feel for you when you ain't got shit or you're in need, but you can't do the same? You can't look over there and see that people are walking without shoes in 2021. People don't have running and fresh water in 2021. No health care. No resources. This shit is sick. And even sicker that we don't even care and we got all this shit. We got everything we got and we don't even care. You know, that's the worst part. So getting back to my lesson, me being human and being met with so many needs overwhelming made me reprioritize things. And although I didn't kill her, my promptness in that situation could have possibly helped. So we can't prioritize needs over the value of a life is what I'm getting at. Sometimes it don't matter how much it costs if it can save your life. And if I can help you, I should. I love you too, bro. If I can help you, I should. You know, and it's like, so anyway, all in all, I let myself get in the way of the overall mission. You know, and fuck the paperwork or the receipts for what I've done. Life is urgent enough. And that's really the basis. Life is urgent for so many people. You know what I'm saying? And the price of what was needed was nothing. And it's just sad, right? So anyway, because of what we're discussing tonight, I had to literally turn the lens around, right? I had to look at this the other way. I had to get in their shoes and understand, no, they weren't being unreasonable. They weren't being unreasonable. They were trying to survive. And then I said to myself, shit, if I didn't have the shit I had, I'd be begging too. I'd be asking. I put every goddamn thing I need on one list too. You sure right. So I had to think about it. They wasn't wrong for that. You know what I mean? Another harsh reality, bro. That's real. So, but anyway, look. If I had to walk with no shoes, no clothes, many days without food, no medicine or proper care for health, I probably would have taken the chance to ask for everything too. Right? And me as a human, I can admit to not liking pressure. And the dislike will cause me to reprioritize you. That's something hey, look, we all got to be honest with ourselves and look at ourselves and say, what's wrong with me? That's something that's wrong with me. If you put too much on me, I will reprioritize your ass. You know, and that's fucked up, but it's a harsh reality. It's something that I'm working on with myself. It's not to say I won't do for you. It's just you asking for too much and too much. And I'm one of those people that like to give openly from my heart. And I like you to just let me do what I'm going to do for you. Because I'm thinking about you anyway. I'm thinking about what you need anyway. But it's just like when you ask, it put a damper on, like, damn. And then you got to question humans because of the way they present shit. The way they say it, it don't sound right. It's like, damn, is you trying to, you know, it was like, damn, how do you throw diabetes medicine in the same sentence with a television? So that's what made me like, but here we go. We're going to explain that further. I'm going to explain where I'm at now. All right, so me as a human, not liking pressure, the dislike, in all honesty, would make me reprioritize you. I was given many kind words, right? Telling me it wasn't my fault, etc. And I know, however, I didn't feel any better. Regardless of what was told to me, it didn't make me feel better. Because a life is gone at the end of the day. And I feel like it's important to make sure people smile also. Sometimes we forget that, man, a motherfucker ain't smiled in a week. That ain't healthy. You know, if you can put a smile on somebody's face, do it. Why we gotta be bitter, fucked up, evil ass world, man? Let's love each other. Love on each other. You know what I'm saying? Crack a joke, love on you know, and it makes things easier. It make the world lighter. It make the world go round. We can encounter each other without all that bullshit. You know? And it's like, come on, man. So, to make sure people know that God hasn't forgotten about them is important to me. So it's this whole story, right, was to just show you all that I had to change my lens around sooner. Had I changed my lens around sooner, I maybe could have saved somebody's life. I don't know. You know, and had I set myself aside long enough to see and realize that they weren't being unreasonable. They were trying to survive. And I've been there. You know how you ask a motherfucker, you only need $40, but you're going to ask for 60 just in case you only get 40. You see what I'm saying? If you need 80, you're going to ask, you see what you know what the fuck I'm saying. You done played the game. We know how this shit go. It's real life, so it's survival. It's not sin, it's survival. All right, so look. So, you know, I like to spend what I want when I want and do what I want for who I want when I want to do it, you know. But what about those, you know, they never had a chance, you know what I mean? And I had to, like I said, I had to turn that lens around. So examining our lens, let's get back on this, is extremely important. And our culture is based upon our very own set of norms, things we've normalized, our behaviors, our attitudes, the belief system we have, the values, the customs that we have set for ourselves, the artifacts, the language that we've designed, that we utilize, the ideals of one particular group of people. All of these things integrate and create our culture. Now let's talk about how our different viewpoints are the very ways of interpreting the world. You got a different view, I got a different. If I don't open up to it and exude curiosity, then we're going to have a problem. Let me explain. Our different viewpoints are the very ways of interpreting the world and understanding what each of us needs in this life. When we cross or experience new cultures or people, we are confronted with different views. And you might not understand them all. But let me explain how we move and maneuver through this so we can get to an understanding and live together and you know what I mean? Let's normalize just peace, goddammit. Let's normalize peace on earth. That's what I want. All right. So when people who have been brought up in different psychological worlds come together, those differences and perspectives culturally as well as communicative codes that we set for ourselves may sabotage the very efforts that make us understand each other. So what I'm saying is we brought up in all these different ways, right? Different perspectives. Culturally, as well as communicative codes. And when we don't understand one another, it sabotages the effort to get to one. It'll set in a gate that keeps us from understanding one another. And we got to understand, this is how we about to break this shit down right now. I'm going to help us through this right here. All right, listen. Repeated collisions of these things produce culture shocks. And what a culture shock is, a feeling of helplessness or even terror or anger. And that's what happened to me when I was met with all those demands. I started feeling helpless, like what I was doing wasn't good enough. So then you want to back out. It make you want to just get out the situation because you feel like, you know, shit, if I ain't give what I'm giving ain't enough, then fuck, I can't give no more, so fuck it. So that's where the culture shock comes in. So let me explain. In hence, I was placed with an excess amount of demands. It made me feel as though what I wasn't doing enough made me want to withdraw. We can't be so quick to judge until we turn the lens around and fully understood what the other person is saying or trying to display or make you understand, right? So listen, first, we've got to become more aware as people, conscious of our own thinking. This is the first step in the breaking down this barrier. Understand what you feel first so that you understand where you're positioned from the get-go. All right, I know where I start. Boom. This is where I think. This is what I believe. This is my conscience. This is my awareness. This is where I begin. And then, boom, number two, you encounter someone. And once you encounter that individual, then the step two is making or thinking and using reasoning, right? That is visible to others, right? So what happens is you're going to say what you mean and you're going to mean what you say. And when you do that, it keeps down the confusion because this allows one to stand in their very own corrected position. This is the real, my rightful, my corrected position. This is where I want to begin. You don't want to begin in no lie because then you got to dissolve the lie and then go back to where you really stand. So let's start from our actual position first, all right? This allows us to stand in our corrected position, because if we're being honest, then the honesty will assess the feelings about it, right? And then we are standing in an affirmed and legitimate real place. All right, from there, number 3 is to inquire what others think and reason about it. And the only way we can do that is by opening our mind and setting ourselves out of our positioning when we encounter someone who's telling us about their positioning. So when we listening, we're not talking. That's what the fuck I'm saying. If you're listening, you're not talking. You can't hear me and talk at the same time, all right? So if you want to hear me, then set yourself aside and open your mind and hear what I'm trying to say. And therefore, we can have a pre-assessed position of both people, all right? And then once we've got this pre-assessed position, now we can come together and get this logical reasoning. Now we can get this logic. Now let's get to the real shit. Now I know where you at and you know where I'm at. And ain't no discrepancy between them, right? So number 3, inquire what others think and reason about it, right? Hey, Ma, how you doing? So when you listen to them, you remove your opinion as to only hear theirs. So when you listen, you remove your opinion as to only hear theirs. You can't talk and listen, okay? So then you can fairly assess where your lens is currently positioned. And once you've got that, and you know where you at, and that person know where they at, and we encounter each other, boom, we know where we at. I respect your position, you respect mine. Now let's figure out the truth. Now let's see where you at and I'm at, and let's integrate this into what is logical and should be reasonable. All right? So, always separate the facts from the inference. Everybody infers something. Opinions like an asshole, right? We all got one, right? View things neutrally. Neutrally is the way to view things. Open your mind and look carefully into everything, every situation, as to remove yourself in order to educate yourself to move further. You can't educate yourself if you're not listening. You can't grow. You can't learn more than what is already in you if you don't open up to listen to someone else. All right. Hey, baby mama, say, I love to hear you and your voice and your message. Just had this conversation today with one of your sisters, D. Yes, Ma. You know it's true. I love you, too. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate that. So now let's get into experiential learning. All right. The experience of learning. How do we get in this? Now, I'm not just going to tell y'all what to do. I'm going to tell you how to do it. We got to break this down. In order for us to understand it, we got to start dissolving these concepts. We can't just throw it out there. No, I'm not going to tell you something. It ain't going to tell you how to get there. I'm going to tell you, yeah, that's where you need to be, but I ain't going to give you the map. Come on now. Listen here. God gave us the map. We just didn't pay attention to it. Now, let me help as your sister, your peer, get you back on track, all right? Experiential learning. For things, this is Aristotle quoted this, y'all. For things we have to learn before doing, we actually learn by doing them. The things that we need to learn before doing them, we actually don't learn them until we do them. That's what Aristotle was saying, okay? So this is learning on a holistic level. This involves our experiences. This involves our perception. This involves our cognition as well as our behavior. All right, so this is going to take your all to get this, all right? You ain't going to be able to just surface learn this. You can't just skim through like the doctors of 2021 that rely on the computer when they leave you in the room for 3 hours and say, hold on, I'll be right back, Miss Jackson. Let me go look up your damn symptoms and figure out what's wrong with you and then come back and tell you some bullshit, all right? They ain't learned a damn thing. Back in the day, we had to learn through the real literature, the books. That's all we had. Now we rely on computer system. We take all the information that we have and we log it into the computer, so when the computers crash, we ain't gonna know shit. I'm just saying. All right? So anyway, back onto this holistic learning thing, right? This involves experience, perception, cognition, as well as behavior. The results from reflection and abstraction based on our experiences, whether in life or in our encounters with others. The first thing, point of experiential learning. This is important, y'all. Concrete experience. Concrete experience is being able to involve yourself fully, openly, right? and then reflect without bias. All right? You can involve yourself fully and openly and still know who the fuck you are. You can remain who you are in the midst of the confusion, right? So you can involve yourself openly and fully without bias. Look at everything, soak it all up, and decipher, all right, I want to keep this. I want to throw this shit out. This was bullshit. This was real. I'm going to keep this. Boom, boom, boom. It's like all this is you, right? So you just bringing it in or you throwing it out. But you build it. You building to get to where you're trying to be, right? Concrete experience. Being able to involve ourselves fully, openly, and without bias, right? Open yourself up. Reflective observation is number 2. Being able to reflect on and observe our experiences from many angles or perspectives. That's important. So we can't look at things from any other angle than our own, then we'll never grow, we'll never make it through life, and we'll probably run into a barrier tonight where we'll get killed or something will drastically happen to us because we don't know how to think outside of what the fuck we know. And from there, you really don't know shit. So think about the level that you've learned and where you've gotten to and the point that you're at now, and you think that you can encounter everything God got for you in the future at that level. No, you need some growth. We got to continue to learn in order to make it through those trials that come in the future. Ma said I can do that WebMD and get a diagnosis by what they have documented. Got that shit right. And that's right. For real, Ma. That's what they doing. So, again, reflective observation is being able to reflect on and observe your experiences from many angles and many perspectives. And always remember, just being open-minded and curiosity is enough. And I'm going to explain to you why. Third is abstract conceptualization. Conceptualize. Let's put it into concept. Now, what does all this mean? Being able to create concepts that integrate or bring in your observations. So the things that you've observed, now you want to integrate them into your life. Now you want to take your observations and use them. What do I do with all this information once I've got it, right? All right? So you bring in your observations as to logically create sound theories for your very own life. And these sound theories that you create, and they're not really being created, they're based upon real values, real truths, and things that are necessary for survival. So once you integrate all these things that you learn into your life and your experiences and the things you encounter daily, you're going to begin to notice the growth, okay? Last is the active experimentation. That is being able to use what you've gathered. So now we done integrated, we brought it in, now we about to put this to work, you hear me? Some of us went to school and we was like, hey man, what the hell am I going to need this shit for in 2021? And you know, some of us have used some of the information, some of us have not. But now we can utilize what we've gathered, all right? In order to make sound decisions, solve problems, and ultimately make our lives easier. Isn't that the goal? Isn't the goal to simplify your life, to work smarter and not harder, to work hard enough that one day you can pay somebody to work for you? That your money, you didn't work so hard for the money that the money now works hard for you. All right. I worked so hard for the money that the money worked for me. Hey, look, I'm feeling good. The concept was examining our own lens. And sometimes that's all it takes. You know, a lot of us are stuck in this this position, right? And we don't know what it's like over there. We don't know what it's like in his life. So I don't really judge, like, sometimes I get a call from my friend and he wants some shit and I'll be like, damn, this nigga wants something, right? But I love him to death. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, I ain't talking about nobody specific. I'm just saying this hypothetical here. He might want something, you know what I mean? And I love him to death and I'm like, damn, I really may not on my end feel like being bothered for real, but I gotta listen because I don't know what you're going through, brother. And it's unfair to me, right? That's like cutting our people off. Because when you cut them off, you might have been his only hope. And even if you couldn't offer him nothing, give him a good word, right? Give him some knowledge, some good, right? Something to feel better about. Because sometimes you'll hang up from that conversation and just that rubbing off of being, that attitude, right, can rub off on somebody who's really experiencing something damper. Their day is really dampered already. And their spirit is low. and their integrity, and they're not feeling like themselves. And one word of advice or just clarity could have just, saved a life or got them to the next point. We may not always be able to give monetarily, but we can pray for our brethren. We can give them a word of advice. I made myself a promise that no matter where I went in this world, how far or how few, you understand what I'm saying? No matter what it is or who I encounter, that I always tell them the truth. That I will always give you the best sound advice that I can give you. I will never tell you no bullshit. I will never lead you astray. I am not working for Satan. So I'm not sending people to hell. I'm not. I might not be perfect, but I don't push nothing that I do on nobody. And the things that I tell you are always going to be sound advice. And that's the best thing that I can offer to the world as I'm working on myself. So all we can do, y'all, is readjust, turn that lens every now and then. And just before you hang up that phone, before you cuss a motherfucker out or beat their ass, just for 1 second, think about, just take a second, remove yourself, and just look at them and for who they are and what they may be going through. And just listen. Because sometimes you can hear the truth. You know what I mean? And a person might not want to tell you what's really going on with them, but you can feel, me, I can get it. And I don't want to be one that drives anybody that I say I care or love into a position of worse. You know what I'm saying? Putting anybody in a worse position in life. Our goal is to build and to help one another through this life. Nobody got it all. Nobody know it all. We wasn't born with it all. And it's like, if I can help you, I'm going to do it. So long as it don't hurt me, I'm going to help you, my brother. And sometimes I done gave my last to a person. Long as my lights on, I'm simple. I might just need a little bag of weed. But long as my lights is on, my air, you know what I'm saying, everything, all the shit, my utilities, and I got everything I need, food on the table and clothes on my back, I am blessed. And I probably will give you my last if you really need it. But don't play me. But it's on you. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. But what a person do when you give, just give with an open heart. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it if you're going to do it. Now, if you're not, hey, it is what it is. Mine said meaningful communication takes active listening and empathy and cognitive engagement. As you said, oh my goodness, this is so needed in my life. In life as human beings, it's the love of your fellow person. My baby's so smart and knowledgeable. Thank you, Ma. I love you so much, and I appreciate you tuning in and being a part of Baby Talk TV. I appreciate you all tuning in as usual. I learned a valuable lesson this week. It hurt me. We lost a life. Rest in peace to the lady that owned the orphan, Miss Josephine. I rest her soul, because had I moved swifter, I don't know what I could have done. I'm not going to blame myself, and I'm going to let it go. As I was giving sound advice today, to say what you need to say and, and give it to God. That's all we can do. If we trust in God, we got to trust in God without the ounce of disbelief. Because any portion of disbelief just make it not trust. It make it not faith. And if I'm going to walk with him, I'm going to give it to him, and I'm going to trust that he will do what he said he will do in my life. I love you all. I'll be back next Friday for more Baby Talk TV, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time as always. We appreciate you. I appreciate y'all as well. I love you all, man. Make sure y'all share this live, man. Let's continue to educate each other. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to love one another, because more than anything, love in the simplest form is all that we need. Broken down, love in the simplest form is God. And if we can execute love, we can change the world. Peace.